Hey, happy Friday. What up, Titus? What's going on? Welcome in. Glad to have you here. I know that a video premiere just finished with Boost Mobile as a discussion with direct to device satellite. And I'll be posting more coverage on this whole ordeal with Boost Mobile in the future and everything like that. Today's planned scheduled live stream has been shifted to Monday, which is my birthday live stream. So all that stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you guys about, these financial plans that I have, that's all going to be from Monday's live stream. But today I kind of wanted to focus in more on about Mobile X and the changes that's happened and some of the backlash I am seeing about this, but also, I guess we need to kind of understand why, and we also got to look at the telco market today and what the offerings are. So all that is going to be discussed in today's live stream video podcast. No visuals by me or anything like that. We're just going to discuss it. I'm going to talk. You guys definitely post in the chat. Share your thoughts, comments, concerns, emotional outburst. It's all pretty decent. You know. Anyways, let me go ahead and so I just want to add up my screen here real quick so we can, whatever I'm looking at, you guys will know what I'm looking at instead of having to try to imagine it. But here we go. So anyways, if you guys have not heard about Mobile X, don't feel, odd about it or anything like that. Mobile X, is still relatively new. Mobile X basically being an MVNO. And, they run off of Verizon's network for, connectivity for their customers. So, I mean, that is, it is what it is on that, right? Anyways, so they specialize, like their forte, their main bread and butter of everything is build a plan for what you need, right? So they use AI to kind of assist their customers in knowing what type of custom plan they should build that ultimately will save them money. The CEO and founder of Mobile X, Peter Adderton, who is also the former CEO and founder of Boost Mobile and Boost Australia, who's also the founder of Ant Mobile. This is his new pride and joy. He's been working very hard on this for so many years. I had the pleasure of being a part of the Mobile X team. No, I'm not going to give out some insights of the internal things that they do. I wouldn't do that to them. But for what they are and the vision and goal of what they have, I strongly believe in. There are people out there who pay too much for a phone bill. Everyone is pushed into this narrative that fully unlimited is the way to go, right? Safety net, set it and forget it type of thing. But there are people out there who are living on a fixed income. Today, the job market sucks. Today, labor hours at businesses suck, and people are having to not just stretch a dollar. Now they're having to stretch a quarter. They're having to make things work out for them. And one of the best ways of cutting costs of your monthly finances is to use lower your bill. Like for me, I would definitely say to somebody out there that you could have potential savings, especially if you already have home Wi-Fi. If you have Cox Internet or CenturyLink, if you're using Xfinity, if you're using any of those, you definitely can save, especially if you're mostly home. Like a lot of remote workers that work from home definitely can lower their monthly phone bill with something like Mobile X, which you pretty much create the type of plan that you want. For 10 days, when you sign up with Mobile X for 10 days, their AI forecaster basically forecasts what type of data usage you would be using in 30 days based on 10 days of usage. At the end of your 10 days, which also doubles up as a 10-day trial, so there's like a free trial. You want to stay with Mobile X, you create a plan, you go forward. If Mobile X doesn't work for you, well, then you can leave. Yeah. So right now, here with the latest change-ups, it shows a one-time credit of $4.88 will be applied to the cost of the plan selected after the learning period, right? So whatever you choose. You could choose if you want unlimited talk and text, if you want only just 500 minutes of talk, 500 text messages, or if you want no talk and text, right? You can literally make this just a data only plan if you want to on their, you know, their pay for what you need. And right here, they say it's the most popular plan because a lot of people who were looking for something like this, who don't use a lot of mobile data because they're hardly away from home, they're always on Wi-Fi, definitely reduce the amount that they pay like every month for phone service. MobileX has MobileX Army. You can earn money. Yeah, you could do that. That's one of the things that they had tossed about a couple of months ago, being able to do like a referral program like that, and now they have put that into place. But one of the big changes happened in October of 2024 with MobileX, right? Titus, you know about this. And that's basically when the CEO decided to change his $25 plan from unlimited talk and text, 30 gigabytes of high-speed data before throttle, to they say 199 gigabytes of data, because most people don't even reach 200 gigabytes of data. Like, you'll see a lot of comments where people will say, like, I use 500 gigs, or I use 1 terabyte, or I use 2 terabytes of data. But it doesn't mean that every person you cross walking the street is using that much data. That's just that person who commented it. So technically and truthfully, the amount of people that use over 200 gigabytes of mobile data is like 8%. 8% of the country's population. Now, people will look and they'll see like their app usage and stuff like that says that they use like 1 terabyte of data. But you also have to factor in when you're connected to Wi-Fi, that's data being used, right? So if you have home Wi-Fi, that's going to be counted. Now, if you were to like separate your data usage into, Wi-Fi usage and mobile data usage, then you'll be significantly surprised on how much mobile data you actually use. I know this because I'm with Google Fi, and I'm on their top tier plan that gives me 100 gigs of high-speed data per month. And every time that my bill cycle ends, I am ending with only like 27 to 30 gigabytes of usage. So there's 70 gigs of data not being used at all. Technically, when you think about that, that's what MobileX is like, kind of like trying to open people's eyes to. When I look at my plan and I'm only using 30 gigs and not the whole 100 gigs, and yet, I am paying X amount of dollars for this plan, it's like I'm pretty much losing money because I'm paying for something that, doesn't roll over, right? So all that 70 gigs of data I haven't used in my bill cycle just goes away. I paid for it, but I didn't get to use it. That's the whole point. So that's why MobileX exists, for that very reason. You control. Now, let's say, your average is like 5 gigs of data, right? So you choose 5 gigs of data, you choose unlimited talk and text, you have this monthly set price. Now, maybe next month, you end up, using up all 5 gigs. You can actually add more data as you need it. All you gotta do is just go in there and just, top up data. And you can add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gigs of data. If you figure you're going to use another 5 gigs before 30 days is up, then you can do that. So that's, MobileX, right? But they know that people want unlimited plans. So MobileX was also offering this. So you have unlimited 10, which is like $14.88 because, Walmart pricing. That's where you would pick up the SIM kits, is at Walmart. So it comes out to about $15. 10 gigs of high-speed data, and then your throttle. How did they present the unlimited as a promo? So from October till December, this plan right here, the $24.88 plan, they had changed this from 30 gigs to 199 gigabytes of data. That's what they considered to be unlimited, because most people didn't reach that amount of data usage. So because of that, people were jumping on it, because also it's not lower QCI data connection, right? It was premium data connection on Verizon's network, so pretty much on par with Verizon postpaid customers. And after December of 2024 in January, they decided that they were going to keep it no longer as a promo, but just as the plan itself. So from, I think it was like January or February, all the way up until August, it had been $24.88 a month for 30 gigs of high-speed data. Taxes and fees are not included. So depending on your state, you'll see taxes, but they are very minimal. Like when I was on this plan for $24.88 a month, the taxes basically brought my bill up to $25.53. So not even a dollar in taxes is what I was paying. So it's not that big. It's not that big like, Google Fi's taxes, fees, and surcharges and all that other stuff. Anyways, yeah. So from like February up until this month, you've been on 199 gigs if you were on this plan. Now, you're not grandfathered into it. That's one thing we do know. So if your bill cycle ends in September and you pay your bill of $25, you'll notice that your data wheel in the Mobile X app is going to show 30 gigs of data and no longer 199 gigs of data. I believe everything else pretty much stays the same, right? 10 gigabytes of hotspot you'll still have. So it's just the amount of data that you're using. People are making speculations. One of the big speculations is that Mobile X and Boost Mobile are going to merge. I don't see that happening. I really don't. People were saying that, Peter Adderton's going to be tapped to run Boost Mobile. I don't think Dish is going to allow him to do that. I don't think EchoStar, I don't think Charlie Ergen is going to let Peter Adderton run Boost Mobile. Peter has such a different approach to the mobile tech industry. You can see that all in within Mobile X and what he's doing with Mobile X, right? Like here are, one of the other main big differences between Boost and Mobile X that is the reason why I don't see them, wanting Peter Adderton to run Boost Mobile. When you go to Boost Mobile, like say right now, like I don't know if the deal's still active, but the iPhone 16e deal, right? If you port your number over to Boost Mobile and you go on the $60 plan, you get an iPhone 16e for $49.99, $50 basically. Say Boost Mobile doesn't work good in your area, so you want to port out, right? If you port out, your iPhone 16e stays locked to Boost Mobile. They will not unlock it to go under any other carrier because you have to have it active for a year. You bought it at a subsidized discounted price. Now, if you fully purchase the iPhone 16e, they will unlock it. I believe it's like after 2 days. So if you fully buy a phone from them, not finance it, not buy it at a subsidized discount, but full price, purchase a phone from them, after 48 hours, you can request for it to be SIM unlocked. But if you buy it at a subsidized price, like their promo sale, it's locked for 365 days of active Boost Mobile service. So you have to wait that, or you have to go find a third-party unlocker to be able to unlock the SIM, right? Mobile X is different. Well, with the phones that they sell through their website, they're all network unlocked. So if you bought a phone today, say you bought an iPhone, 13 from Mobile X today, and you got service today, you tried them out, it didn't work out for you, you don't have to call them and have them SIM unlock your phone. Your phone's already unlocked. You just end services with Mobile X. If you got eSIM, just turn the eSIM off. If you got physical SIM, just take it out of the phone. And you can take your iPhone 13 somewhere else, right? To like one of Mobile X's competitors, US Mobile. You can go to them. You can go to Metro by T-Mobile. You can go wherever you want. The phones are unlocked, right? This is Peter Adderton's mindset, is that he doesn't want to sell people phones that are SIM unlocked that are SIM locked to Mobile X. Excuse me. He doesn't want to lock them to Mobile X or to the Verizon network because he's all about, if they work for you, great, you'll be happy. If they don't work for you, they don't want an unhappy customer stuck with them, because then all you're going to do is just badmouth the company on social media and run them down. Like, if they can't serve you for voice, text, and data, the best service they can give you is freedom to go where you want to go. I mean, Mobile X even has, and I don't know if they still have it on their website. They might. I'll look into it and see. But I know, like, they have, I think it's like a comparison. So those are the broadband facts there. Let's see. I know in the app it has it. Like, it tells you, if there's. No, I don't see it. Anyways, but in the mobile app in itself, after the 10-day trial period, if, like, say, it projects that you're going to use over 30 gigs of data, it's going to let you know that maybe Mobile X is not a good fit for you. But it has like a hyperlink underneath that message, and it pulls up a plan comparison between what Mobile X offers and what the competitors offer. So you don't have to go searching through all the other websites. They bring all that information to you, so you can just do your research analyze every plan compared to what you were having with Mobile X, and then see which one is the best fit for you to port your number out to. And they do update this list periodically, so that's good on them for that, right? But yeah, there's Backlash. There's Backlash brewing. Now, it's not significant. Let me tell you guys right now, it's not that significant. It's not that huge of a deal, because there are still Mobile X customers who are happy. They were on Mobile X with the original plan, which was 2488, 30 gigabytes of high-speed data. They were on that plan before it changed to 199 gigs. So even though it changes back to 30 gigs, nothing really changes for them. So they're content, they're happy. Those who switched over, those who left, like Visible, right? Because Visible by Verizon is good, right? $25 a month for unlimited, but it's not premium Verizon connection, right? You get the premium Verizon connection on the Visible Plus or the Visible Plus Pro plans, but you don't get it on their $25 base plan. But on Mobile X, you got it on their $25 plan. Whether it was a 30 gig or if it was 199 gigs, these two plans get premium data access. Okay, so they're on a higher priority. They're not like prepaid priority. So because of that, a lot of people jump ship over to Mobile X. Now, a lot of them are, not a lot of them, but some of them who are all about the unlimited and they need that unlimited safety blanket, they're the ones that are making an outcry of this. But we don't know exactly why. We don't know specifically why this came to be. The only thing about this that I even remotely jumped on to talk about it was because this, like, there was something I kept telling people. Like, I would do a video about Helium Mobile, and people would be like, it's not fully unlimited. They should do fully unlimited, bring fully unlimited. I do a video about Google Fi, same thing. I do a video about Boost Mobile, same thing. But see, here's where what happened to Mobile X kind of shows and proves my point to people. MVNOs do not dictate or control how much data you get to use. They have to have approval from the company they are licensing access to the network, right? So Mobile X pays a fee to Verizon to access Verizon's network. In the MVNO agreement deal that Peter Adderton and Verizon come together to discuss and finalize, he says what he wants for his customers. They start to strip away what he's asking for. Because believe you me, Peter Adderton, I know for a fact, did not go and have a meeting with Verizon, sat down and said, I want to give my people 30 gigs of data. I know. I'm pretty sure he probably wanted more. If he didn't want more, then he would have never moved the $25 plan up to 199 gigs. That had to have been something that Verizon okayed for him to do. So this is what Verizon and Peter had an agreement on. He wanted more. They said no, but we'll give you this much. He said no, that's too little. And eventually it met in the middle where most places like Boost Mobile, people will be like, well, how is Boost Mobile an MVNO? Boost Mobile is a hybrid. They have their own network. And when that network is built out, when they can support a lot of customers on it, when they're not reliant on their competitors, they can offer something that's fully unlimited if their network can handle that much data traffic. But for right now, Boost Mobile is at the mercy of AT&T and T-Mobile. They have MVNO agreements with them. That's why those who have iPhones is on the Rainbow SIM can smart switch between, Boost 5G, T-Mobile 5G, AT&T 5G. The reason why you have AT&T and T-Mobile is because they have an MVNO agreement. They pay, a licensing fee to access the network. Now, big carriers like AT&T, T-Mobile, and Verizon are not going to let an MVNO or a small company beat them at their own game. So, like, let's say Mobile X offered fully unlimited 5G data access on their $25 plan, comparable to Verizon postpaid. Ask yourself this question and don't bullshit on it. If you were on Verizon postpaid paying $115 a month with everything included, all the fees included, to have unlimited data, to have unlimited talk and text, would you continue to pay $115 for that Verizon postpaid plan? Or if you found out Mobile X was offering the exact same thing, minus the additional features like the streaming services and stuff like that. Just unlimited talk and text, fully unlimited priority network access for $25. Are you going to stay on $115 every month, or are you going to drop down to $25? Do you see the distinction there? So dropping down to $25 makes sense. That's what I would do. I'm not going to bullshit anybody. I'll drop down to a $25 plan. Paying $25 a month versus paying $115 a month, that's some significant savings. Now, Verizon's not going to stand by and watch more and more of their customers who don't give a shit about the streaming, like the Netflix and all that other crap. They're going to start watching them move over to Mobile X. Verizon's not going to like that. At the end of the day, Verizon wants your business. AT&T wants your business. T-Mobile wants your business. None of these guys, and I don't know why people get so brand loyal to them, none of these guys are your friends. When you have a birthday, they're not going to call you or show up to your birthday party or meet up for drinks. When it's Christmas, they're not showing up to spend time with the family. When the hell have you ever seen, the Verizon CEO, I think it is Hans Vesper, or any of these guys? When have you seen any of these CEOs go to your house for the holidays, go to your house for a birthday, call you up to check on you to see how you're doing? I know what the answer is. Never. They never do. Well, one did for me. But see, I'm the exception of the rule. I worked for the guy. So I really wouldn't count that. So why are we so damn loyal to any of these companies? Why is it that, we sit there and we ride for these companies and we try to trash and destroy the other ones? Why do we do that? Why are we that ignorant to go on somebody else's video who's talking about Mint Mobile and then talk about Mint's trash? I can't connect to this, da 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 da. And it's just like, what's the point? There's no point to that. Here are the top 3 things that people seem to not grasp when they want to discuss mobile phone carriers. Okay. Number 1, not every major city is going to have the same speeds and latency. Houston, Verizon customers can get 500 megabits or less in download speeds. New York, it could be 100 megabits per second in download speeds. Phoenix, Arizona, it could be 1 gigabyte, like a gigabit per second speeds. California, it could be gigabit per second speeds. It's not the same. Maybe, Phoenix, Arizona is dominant with T-Mobile over AT&T and Verizon because this used to be a Sprint market. So if you have Verizon or AT&T and T-Mobile in most places in Phoenix and the greater city of Phoenix, it's going to have better connection over Verizon and AT&T. You go to, Texas, Oklahoma, and AT&T's really good out there. You go to New York, and, it's, T-Mobile's pretty good out there. Verizon's good out there. So network coverage is going to fluctuate. You're never going to have the same speeds in the same place all the time. So that's one thing that people kind of overlook. 2, people expect that prepaid MVNO companies have the power to just change to a fully unlimited plan. No, they don't. They need an okay approval from the network that they are licensed to access. And they're only given a specific amount of access. Like Mobile X is only allowed to have so many customers on there. Trust me, they're nowhere near the allotted limitation of customers. But there is a limitation if you didn't know. They are only allowed so many customers through them to access the Verizon network. Same with Boost Mobile. Same with the other MVNOs like Tello and all them. So that's number 2. Okay. Number 3, people overlook that these companies are businesses and they're all about making money. Yes, everybody has a sad story. Everybody has a great idea. I get that. I have a sad story. I have a great idea. But it doesn't mean that, my sad story should, bear over everybody else's sad stories. And it doesn't mean that my ideas are far greater than what anyone else can come up with. When you're looking at things through the lens of your own eye, you don't have the perception to see other people's perspectives until it's told to you. Right? This is why they come up with the saying that you have to walk a mile in someone else's shoes in order to understand what they're going through. You definitely have to. You have to, because if you're over there only looking at things through your perspective, Your perspective is yours. It's not everybody else. It's like what people say. My truth is not everybody else's truth. Well, yeah, of course it's not. So what are the reasons why? Well, obviously, Verizon. Verizon is the key to this change. The reason why that I say this, and I'm assuming, okay, so don't hang on every word that I'm saying about Mobile X, but just Peter Adderton posted a response that I read. And in that response, I got the feeling that this was not something he wanted to do. Something had to be done. This is something that I guess he had to do, but really didn't want to. But does it make Mr. Adderton cry at night? No, it doesn't, because his true baby is this plan right here. This, if you guys don't know this, heed my words. Listen to what I'm saying right now. Those people on X who like to, conversate with Peter Adderton on the X platform, because he's very sociable with customers and non-customers too. You don't have to be a customer of Mobile X to be able to have a conversation with him on the X platform. But as long as you tag him in what you're saying, and you'll get a response from him. Unless it's something that's like, I hope your day's doing great, Mr. Adderton. Maybe he'll like your post, but he's not going to respond. But anyone who's followed him, anyone who knows him, this is his baby. So don't try to butter him up on social media by talking about how invested you are in this plan, but you're not on this plan, right? The plan is good. I've tried it, but I'm considered more of a heavy user through the eyes of Mobile X. Through a lot of you guys wouldn't say I'm a heavy user. Like I told you guys earlier, on my service with Google Fi, I end my month with about 27 to 30 gigabytes of usage out of 100 gigabytes of usage. So to you guys, I would be considered, at least some of you guys, let me not generalize everybody, but some of you guys may say that I'm a very light user. There are people out there who really do use a terabyte of data per month. But through the eyes of Mobile X, I'm a heavy user. I will easily get to 30 gigs by 30 days or less than 30 days. And if you were to do this plan, their flexible plan, if you were to do this and choose 30 gigabytes of data and unlimited talk and text, you would be looking over $100 as a plan. That's why they have this. No reason for you to choose 30 gigs of premium data access, unlimited talk and text on a flexible plan when you can just pay a quarter of what you would pay for that buildable plan. You would pay a quarter of it, $25 for 30 gigs, right? Says, keep it old school with one of our unlimited plans. And you can see right now they're heavily pushing the $15 10 gigabyte plan. I have my daughters on this plan, and I can tell you guys this plan is absolutely great. If I could have them back on this plan, I would. But where I live, Verizon is terrible, and that's something that is out of Mobile X's hands. The network access, what up, New Year Day? The network access and everything, they don't control. You reach out to Mobile X customer support, tell them that your coverage, your connection is very spotty. Yeah, they're gonna troubleshoot it. They're gonna do the basic troubleshooting, and if it's something that's more and more advanced, they're reaching out to Verizon's tech support for help, because the Verizon tech support has more access to the network systems than Mobile X does. Mobile X is not given that key to that palace. So yeah, I had to take them off this plan. Now, where I'm living right now, I only plan to live here until my lease is up. Once my lease is up, I'm looking for a new place to move to, something that's got better coverage. And if Verizon is better, bet your ass my kids are going to be back on this plan. This plan with Mobile X, $15, $10 gigs of data for $15. What up, B-Tech? What's going on? Was great because my kids had to really ration their usage on mobile phones, which means that they weren't on their phones as much as it was when I had them on unlimited plans from Metro. Unlimited plans from Metro, they were streaming video on YouTube for hours. When I had them on this plan, they were outside playing. So this is a great thing. What's changing about the channel? tune in Monday on my birthday live stream to know exactly what the details are. I'm not giving that away until Monday. I was going to live stream it today, but I figured I would just, since it's going to be a huge change in my life, I might as well announce the change, what it's all about, what I'm going to be doing right at turning 43 years old, right? Day one of 43. So when I reach the goal that I want to reach in life, however many years it takes me to get there, then I can say I started at 43 on day one of 43 and made it to where I'm at. But it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't think everyone who's like interested in mobile tech is going to show up for that one, but I think those people who are my day oneers, the ones that actually just talk to me besides tech, besides cell phone plans, but like talk to me like a human being, I think y'all will show up for that one to know what's going on. So just tune in Monday. Tune in Monday and somebody's and drop me a happy birthday. That'd be pretty cool. I'd appreciate that. But anyways, yeah, the 11 to 10 plan, really good plan for my kids. I know, was it Helium Mobile has, a kids plan and all this other stuff. So, I mean, it is what it is. You have the freedom and the choice to go wherever you want to go. You can go to Mobile X, US Mobile, Boost Mobile, Helium Mobile, Tello, Red Pocket. There's so many different phone services out there. There's even the generic ones that I'm seeing on Facebook and stuff, right? Like Whoop Mobile and all that. I mean, there's just so many of them. But yeah, for people in a nutshell, Verizon controls what Mobile X is allowed to have access to. And Peter's post made that pretty clear, even though he didn't say it, right? So Verizon can't come down on him and be like, you said this, Mr. Radington, how dare you? They can't do that to him because he didn't say it. He didn't even say the reason for the change or anything. He just kind of, in a way, if you read his post, you would have to feel it type of thing, right? So it's very vague, but I got the feeling, that this was beyond his control. This is something he didn't want to do, but for the benefit of Mobile X in the future, something that had to be done. They also got to remember, they're not only giving out for what's today, they also have to plan for the future because they have to remain competitive with other brands out there. They're always having to change. An MVNO prepaid company that never changes its plans is a company doomed to fail. You have to make changes. You have to. I mean, yeah, the replay will be up there. You can catch the replay, bro. Always said Mobile X needs T-Mobile access also. Verizon and T-Mobile, they'll kill it. Yeah, except for one thing though. Not saying that there's no capital in Mobile X. I'm not saying that at all. But they don't yet have that type of money to play around and create. Now, maybe Peter has been in discussions with AT&T and T-Mobile to add them as a network to have access to. But maybe what T-Mobile wants to charge Mobile X annually for network access, and the same with AT&T, is something that, Peter's like trying to outweigh. Because you also got to remember, let's say if Peter Radington took a deal, right? Say he took a deal with T-Mobile and AT&T to have network access to them, right? So now he's annually paying, $2 million to T-Mobile and $2 million to AT&T. Well, I mean, that's going to pretty much cripple the company down to its knees if they just use all the money that they had from Mobile X towards that. Because remember, they still got to pay the annual fee to Verizon for network access. So where does that tend to go? Well, you might hate what I'm going to say, but this is the reality of business. That spending is going to transfer to you. So $25 plan may become $45 plan. $14.88 plan may become $30 plan. Because they're going to have to recoup that spending. A business is only successful when its financial reportings are in the black and not in the red. Which means that they are profitable. They have shareholders. They got to make sure shareholders are getting their money. They don't want shareholders to pull out their investments. So they have to remain profitable. So this is how Mobile X can be profitable right now. With only a one network access for right now. Maybe in the future, Brandon, maybe in the future they decide to do that. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. Because this is what's profitable for them. A $14 plan a $24 plan, a build your own plan, and that's all they really need. Kids going to school, they should be using this so that way that they're not heavily addicted to the internet. People on fixed incomes definitely will benefit from this plan because you control your spending. And those people who have home internet but do a lot of things like live streaming when they're away from home, like they go fishing at a lake and they want to live stream and stuff like that, well, then this plan right here, the unlimited 30, that will work out for customers. So they have plans that fit just about everybody out there. T-Mobile will always be the weakest network. I disagree with you. Maybe in your area, maybe where you live. I said this earlier. You probably weren't in here when I said this. I've been kind of going off on a rant about how people look at these companies and how, I'm just going to say it. If you get pissed off at me and you unsubscribe and leave, oh well. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. But the truth is, the ignorance in a lot of what's said. T-Mobile will always be the weakest in your area because T-Mobile's not the weakest where I live. T-Mobile's actually dominant over AT&T and Verizon where I live. In the greater Phoenix area, so that's talking to like Gilbert, Peoria, Sun City, Surprise, Scottsdale, Chandler, Mesa, Tempe, Ahwatukee, Goodyear, in all those areas that surround the city of Phoenix. Okay, T-Mobile does great. So I honestly feel like people should stop judging about which carrier is the strongest or is the weakest based on your city's connection, because your city's connection does not speak for every city in the United States. That's facts. Verizon dominates maybe in your area, and that's why everything that's Verizon related is going to work great in your area. So now you know which carrier that you should be kind of primarily focused on. You could always look to see if AT&T beefed up their network or if T-Mobile beefed up their network, right? Nothing stays exactly the same that way forever. Now, if you were to say T-Mobile has shady practices, I won't argue with you there because T-Mobile does have shady practices. Hello, Gene. Welcome in. Welcome in. So, T-Mobile ain't as bad as people make it out to be. It's just their practices that goes along with it, right? Best analogy I can come up with: T-Mobile's like that seller that comes around and tries to sell you a stack of shit, and they market it like it's gold. That's T-Mobile. I remember way back in the day when these had gig plans, and if you go over that allotment of 1 gig of data, you had to buy more, or just wait till the data allotment comes in. Yeah, that's how it used to be, right? And everyone got comfortable with unlimited, right? You also have to remember, like, having fully unlimited, like, people, that's the other thing that I think people kind of misjudge with the telecommunications industry. People have this mindset where it's like, oh, you should just be fully unlimited, like there's no consequences to it. Where I always try to describe it in a way for people to understand. You on your mobile smartphone, doesn't matter if you're iPhone or Android, on your phone, when you access the mobile network, like everybody else does, say the entire country accessed Verizon's network exactly at the same time. Everyone was streaming a 4K video from YouTube at the same time. You would crash Verizon's network. It is like highway traffic. And if you're judging the quality of the carrier's data access, right, would be describing if it's a 4-lane highway, 5-lane highway, 6-lane highway, 8-lane highway. The more lanes you have, the more vehicles can pass through, right? Now, say you took every car and you put it on one particular interstate, but you put it on Interstate 10. At a certain point, a quarter-mile stretch, certain point, you put every vehicle there. Is every vehicle they're going to fit? Fuck no, it's not going to fit. Is everyone going to run through smoothly? Hell no. You're going to be like in gridlock, deadlock traffic for a month. That's how internet phone service on your phone works. So yes, MVNOs get put limitations on there because the way that Verizon sees it is that Verizon postpaid customers should have access to that highway with a smooth travel at all times. Mobile X customers, you can travel on our fast highway too, but if you guys are going to cause a traffic jam, well, we're just going to route you into this one lane and you're going to sit here and wait with everybody while our postpaid customers can freely drive through. That's the mentality that these companies have. This is why T-Mobile will never let Google Fi have a fully unlimited plan just yet. The same as Verizon, pretty much in my opinion, took away the 199 gigs of data offering from Mobile X because Mobile X was technically beating them in their own game. And it's the same reason why, Boost Mobile will never get unlimited access to AT&T's network. That is the absolute truth how this works. If you can't figure this out, let me know if I'm speaking foreign. Maybe I'll have AI type me up a very, very legible and understandable statement, and I'll post it in the description for people to understand. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like that I'm speaking a foreign language. I'm not speaking English correctly. Someone had actually told me one time, dude, you speak too fast. Like, sorry, man. That's why I tell people, like, when I start talking fast and I start going into my whole spiel and I'm going really quickly and it started to just like turn into like a whole hip hop rap thing, then I tell people like, hey, hashtag ADHD, because I have it. I have it. I am like the poster man of ADHD. They should literally change my name to Abernathy Henwood Darwin Dunlap. Oh wait, flip it around, see? Abernathy Darwin Henry Dunlap, ADHD. I'll put AHDD. What the hell's wrong with me this morning? Anyways, that should be my name. I should change my name to that. Because most of you guys may have seen me in vlog videos. Some of you guys may have watched my videos on tech. Any of you guys who ever want to meet me in real life, if you met me in real life, I hope you bring a snack, a blanket, and all kinds of things to rest your head, because I am here, there, and everywhere. I'm all over the place. My ADHD is so bad. No, I don't medicate. I don't rely on pills, to control, I guess you can say it. It is a mental disorder. We wouldn't even know what makes it far worse. When I was I was 13, I was diagnosed with ADHD, right? I was also diagnosed with MPD, multiple personality disorder. Oh my God. I remember when I finally broke down and told people, in middle school, I was like, the counselor that would come see me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was like, yeah, they diagnosed me with MPD. And my friends, what's that? Multiple personality disorders. I get the same shit all the time. So do you have like a Greg inside you? Do you go by a different name? And it's like, no. MPD is not like how the movies make it out to be. You're always you. Like, I'm always going to be me. But maybe this might make sense for some of you guys who subscribe to me for a long time. You guys ever notice that if you guys look at my videos, there's some videos where it seems like I'm very blasé. Some videos where I'm very hype. Some videos where I'm immature. Some videos where I'm like super serious and straight to the point. Those are my personalities coming through. You guys are catching them on video. I've had someone in the past, I think it was a couple years ago, tell me like, bro, you're very inconsistent. I mean, like, if you just kept the same energy, you would probably soar to the top. Yeah, well, you know what? It's kind of hard for me to keep the same energy when my moods, my personalities are like, they're like mood swings, right? So like bipolar is like the base form of what I have. All my, all my emotions are their own personalities. The crazy part is a lot of people think that QCI level means something most people don't realize that they research. Yeah, so QCI level, it doesn't specifically mean the be-all, end-all for network connectivity, right? It gives you an idea of what you're prioritized, okay? Verizon customers, prepaid customers on Verizon, QCI levels, are different, right? Prepaids could be like QCI 10. Postpaid customers could be like QCI 7. That doesn't really mean anything totally terrible, but let's say a meteor is going to strike Earth and it's the end of times, right? So everyone's making last-minute phone calls to say goodbye. QCI level is like Like, okay, the network's congested, so those that are on QCI 6 are not going to get kicked off the network temporarily, but we're going to kick off, QCI 10 temporarily. I'm saying that's exactly what they do. I'm just saying that's an analogy of, like, think about it like that, right? Like, postpaid customers are going to have priority access. If you are on the prepaid like Mobile X or, say, Visible, and the CEO of a company who has Verizon Business Line is standing right next to you, and both you guys are trying to upload a file, his is going to upload faster. The tower is going to recognize, okay, he's priority over this phone line because he's paying for business elite plans. So we need to make sure that his file gets uploaded quicker. So we're going to kind of scale back, QCI 10's upload speed. But once that business guy leaves the area and his phone's no longer connected to that tower, then person with QCI 10 speed is going to jack up and go back up to being fast. That's just how it works. Remind me to never be around Tito if he's holding a firearm. What the fuck, man? No. Like I said, it's not personalities where, like, right now I'm Tito, and then as soon as I click end stream, my name is Phil, and I will be looking for you tonight. It's not that type of thing. It's just, when you, like, I challenge somebody to look at past videos of mine in the past year, and you'll definitely see a difference in my personality. And my emotions govern that. My wife makes fun of me because she says, what the hell is that movie called from Disney? Oh my God. It's like the ones with all the different emotions, like joy, angry, sad. I can't remember their name. Can't remember the name of that movie, but she says that that's my head. They're all me. All those emotions are me, but they have taken a full role as a personality. And they come out. Right, it gets QCI 8. So there's Verizon postpaid customers that are QCI 7. So if you and that person were standing in an area and both you guys were uploading a file to work, then the one on 7 is going to be prioritized for faster upload speeds than you for the moment until they're done. And then yours will go up too. Then you'll get faster speeds back. That's all what QCI means. It doesn't mean anything other diddly squat. It doesn't mean like you get the premium network access where your speeds will be gigabit per second, but someone that's QCI 10 is going to get 1 megabit per second. It's not that drastic of a difference. It just lets the networks know who is prioritized access and speeds and latency. Because that is also the truth about 5G. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5G to me was like fast data speeds, fast data speeds. That was me 2-3 years ago. Now I look at it, I'm like, it's lower latency, just for gaming. Because the 5G does not load my Facebook page faster than it does on LTE. It does not. I actually have network traffic monitoring turned on my notification dropdown on my Android phones. So when I load a page on Facebook, I can see how much data is, throughput is going from the downlink and the uplink. There's no difference. Whether you got 5G or not, no difference at all. 18 kilobits is what it takes to load Facebook, and that's what it's going to take to load Facebook, whether you're on the fastest speeds or the slowest speeds. Do you know majority of the time the reason why Android phones get very laggy and crashy? I don't know if people know this. Like some people will be like, yo, fucking Facebook is slow on this network. Sometimes people blame the network connectivity for the reasons why Facebook's loading slow, but it's actually not that. It's because you have cache buildup and you need to delete cache. It's the same reason why, like, when you get a phone brand new out of the box, in the first month, you're like, this phone is fast, man. I can open Uber Eats like that. A year later, you're like, fuck, man. I can't even get this order placed on Uber Eats. It's so laggy. Yeah, built up cache. Wipe the cache. This is what I do on my Android smartphones, to be honest with everybody. What I do, now that I've kind of discussed the whole Mobile X thing and we're just wrapping up right now. But what I do on my smartphones is every 6 months, I do a full wipe. Like I wipe the phone and I do not install from backup because that would defeat the purpose. That would be pretty idiotic to install back from backup. It's like you just wiped all that garbage off your phone to reset your phone to a fresh start point, and then you're going to back up everything onto there that you had when it was all cluttered with garbage and running very, very laggy and very jittery. You're gonna reload that back in there, and then you're gonna be like, it's still laggy. Like, no. I know people are just like, I don't want to sign into the 188 apps that I have, man. That sucks. But if you want smoother experience, faster response times, better performance out of your Android smartphone, even on iPhones too. I do it on iPhone, and I noticed a difference too. Then you want to wipe, and you want to just reinstall every app after you sign back into your Google account and have a fresh start. I do it on my iPhones too, because cache builds up, and iOS makes it kind of tricky to find out where to delete cache. I mean, you could do it the other way, where you don't have to wipe your phone. You just force stop every app, put your phone in airplane mode, go into the apps, to settings, and then apps, go to your list of apps, and go one by one through all your downloaded apps and your used apps, and just hit delete cache. Or you can clear data. Clearing data on them means you have to re-sign back into those apps, and you don't have to actually wipe the phone. So you don't have to reset all your settings, like your wallpapers, your icons, and all that other stuff on your home screen. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. I do a full wipe because I can sit there and go through all that setup process. Some people don't want to, so just airplane your mode, airplane mode your phone, not airplane your mode, airplane mode your phone. Go to your app list, and then just start deleting the cache off all your apps, or clear data on all your apps, and then re-sign back into those apps, and you're good. You're golden. Things will start to freshen up. Like, aside from what other people do, like other people put on the developer options, go down to animations and scale the animations to 0 or 0.5, and your phone will run smoother. And it's like no, just get rid of junk files off your phone. It's kind of the reason why some people still ask me, why do you like this Samsung Galaxy A53? It's a piece of shit. It's laggy, blah, 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 blah. Well, I have an SD card on that phone because it does take an SD card. And I move a lot of my downloaded apps to it, fully put all the data and cache on the SD card rather than on the internal storage, frees it up. I have RAM boost turned on. That gives it additional gig of RAM. And believe it or not, my Galaxy A53 runs as smooth as my Galaxy S21. It does that. So just remember, if your phone's getting laggy and jittery, 9 times out of 10, it could just be a lot of, clunked up stuff. Downloading third-party apps to run through your device and clean it, I wouldn't suggest it. Those things to me are malicious. I wish that Android had natively built in something like, what a Windows PC has, right? To defrag your internal storage, to optimize it. Wish they had that. I mean, Samsung's have it and, optimize it. I think it pretty much does the same thing, right? I also would love for the fact if you can actually compress your main storage disk, right? Your internal storage. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, on PC, when you go into the C drive properties, and where you can optimize or basically defrag your computer, there's also an option where you can compress files, right? So it takes a 21 gigabyte file and it compresses it, so it frees up more space on your internal drive. And I'm like, some Android devices should have that. Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I get what you're saying, TJ. But anyways, yeah, so that's pretty much all that I have for you guys right now. I appreciate all of you guys for coming in and hanging out with me. I got a lot of things that I got to get done today, so that's why the live stream was earlier than I expected it to be. If you want to check out what I'm going to be talking about on Monday as far as this whole financial shift in my life and what I plan to do, my little get-rich scheme and all that other stuff, the beginning of that chapter, I'm going live on Monday, which is my birthday. So I'll be turning 43. So I'm having a little, birthday live stream celebration. And yeah, if you guys are going to find out a lot of personal things about me, because I intend to share with you guys a lot. So you guys understand my vlogs on this financial journey of mine. You guys will understand decisions that I make, the way that I live and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe some of you guys might be surprised because you may have the wrong, perception of me. And you're about to discover something completely different about me that you didn't know. But that's going to happen on Monday, so I hope to see most of you guys there. I would love to have you guys there to hang out and talk story and everything like that. It's not going to be any tech, so if you come in talking about Boost Mobile did this to me, why did they do that? I'm not going to answer it because I'm not talking tech at all on Monday. But I really hope to see you guys there just to hang out with me. You know what I mean? I think you guys do. So until that time, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys later.